Okay, so first things first, start in an easy seated position. So Sukhasana, legs crossed, and you just want that blanket or that pillow underneath you, really so that it provides you with a nice bit of cushioning and a softness, and it actually brings the floor up a little bit. So hopefully your knees can sit a little bit more comfortable. So just take a moment here just to settle into that shape. And then once you feel like you found it, for a moment, close your eyes and just notice the natural rhythm of your breath. And then once you start to feel like you've settled in, just notice your seat. If there's anything that needs rearranging, the blanket or pillow underneath you, your legs or your shoulders, take a moment to do that. And then before we get any more deeply involved, pause for a moment and set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything that would cause your body pain and just treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, we're going to start by focusing on our Ujjayi breath. If Ujjayi breath is already in your practice and you know how to do it, kick it off and just get started with your hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. And so we're just going to bring our prayer hands together. When we do Anjali Mudra, we breathe in through the nose and we breathe out through the nose. And we want to find a little constriction in the soft palate and the back of the throat, so that we create a little constriction so it makes a sound. So as we breathe in through the nose, we want to find a nice ocean sound. And then that similar ocean sound as you breathe out. And if it helps you find your way there, just think of it as a Darth Vader breath. So you want to make that Darth Vader breathing sound in through the nose and out through the nose. And just start there. See if you can find that breath. Keep your breath going here, finding that comfortable seat, palms touching, elbows are wide. And keep in mind that this Ujjayi breath you can do anytime, anywhere. It's super calming and super grounding. And with some other pranayamas or breathing practices in yoga, you only want to do so much, but you can do you can do your Ujjayi breath all day long in your car, waiting at the grocery store, whatever the case may be. All right, now from here, we're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, keep a nice posture, soften your shoulders down, but stick with that Ujjayi breath in through the nose, finding that Darth Vader sound, and out through the nose. And then see if you can start to slow it down just a little bit in through the nose and out through the nose. And we're going to stick with that breath for one more minute, but bringing the hands back in towards the heart, we're going to unlace the fingers and then flip the hands. So the backs of the hands are going to touch and the wrists are going to meet. Keep the elbows wide, keep that upright posture, and then come right back to your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And we've got about 30 more seconds here. So just pay attention to your seat. If you feel like your legs in this cross position need to be switched at this point, go ahead and switch them. But if you can hang out here for a little longer, take a few more moments just noticing your breath. One more breath. Awesome. And now from here, we're going to take the hands behind the back. Left hand is going to grab the right wrist, and then we're going to fold over. We're going to let the forehead touch the floor. In this folded over position, if your forehead doesn't touch the floor, option here to take your block, place it in front of you, holding your wrist, fold over, and let your forehead touch the floor there. If your forehead can touch all the way down, that's awesome, but no worries if it can't. We're all shaped a little bit differently. Mine has trouble touching the floor, if I'm being totally honest. So once you found your way here, just make sure your knees and hips feel comfortable. If you feel like the blanket or the pillow underneath your bum needs to be removed, go ahead and take it out of the way. But then once you've found a position that feels comfortable to you, resolve to find some stillness here. Take a moment just to check in, notice your breath, make sure you're breathing comfortably and with ease. In Yin Yoga likes to follow some of the traditional Chinese medicine meridians when it talks about the movement of energy. And in this posture here, this kind of focuses on the bladder meridian, which runs from the eyes up the back of the head to the back of the body and down to the pinky toe. So if you like to just focus on your awareness, maybe draw a little line from your eyes up the back of your head and down to your pinky toes, and then just take a nice big breath. We have 1 minute left in this posture, but if you need to come up and switch the cross in your legs, take the time to do so. And then see if you can come right back into that folded position and soften back into your breath. Take one more breath here. And then we'll come up nice and slow. So if you're holding your wrist, gently release and then help your way up nice and slow and controlled. From here, just lean back a little bit to send your legs out and then just wiggle everything around. Wiggle out your knees, wiggle out your toes, bring some movement back into the backs of the legs. And now from here, we're going to come down onto our backside. So move your pillow or blanket out from underneath your butt, taking your block, or if you've got your stack of books, or you're going to double fold your blanket so it gives a nice thickness to it, because we're going to place that block or that blanket underneath the bum. So you're going to come down onto your backside, setting up for a bridge position. You're going to lift your hips up and you're going to slide your block or your blanket underneath your bum. I personally like my block at the medium height. It feels really good to me. But if a lower height feels better, lower it down. Or if that softer pillow or blanket underneath your bum feels better to you, go there. Once you've found your way into this position, take a moment, settle in, resolve into that stillness. Arms are just going to rest comfortably out at your sides, so shoulder heads are going to soften down. A slight lift in the chin just so you can breathe comfortably. And then from here, you're just going to let gravity do all the rest of your work. Maybe see if you can come back to that Ujjayi breath, in through the nose and out through the nose, finding that constriction in the back of the throat. When we think about the traditional Chinese medicine meridians here, it's the pericardium meridian. So it's the surface or the area around the heart. So just think about how that gravity helps bring the blood to the heart center. Take one more breath here. And then we'll come out of this position nice and slow. So start to press into your feet, gently lift your hips up, slide your block or your blanket out from underneath you and lower down with control. Pause for a moment just to notice how you feel. And then from here, we're going to take it into supine twist. If you like, you can take your block or your blanket over to one side, whichever side you're going to twist to first. Extend one leg long, bring the other leg up, and then rotate towards your block or your blanket. And then let your block or your blanket rest underneath that leg. So you might not draw into quite as deep of a twist, but it's really nice and supported. Take a minute to find your twist. And then once you found it, settle in. The arm that's extended out, you can turn your head in the direction of that arm if it feels safe to your head and your neck. And then once you feel like you've settled in, maybe close your eyes and take a moment just to pay attention to your breath. We've already been here for a minute, so just notice. Make sure you're breathing comfortably. Props feel comfortable underneath you. Using your breath as a barometer, making sure that you're breathing in a nice deep inhalation and a slow exhalation. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, you're going to pull that knee into the chest. Bring your other knee in to meet so both knees come into your chest. And then maybe just draw some gentle circles in one direction. And then maybe draw some gentle circles the other way. Awesome. And then from here, we're going to hold on to that opposite knee, send the other leg long. If you liked using your prop, just go ahead and take it over to the other side real quick. And then find your twist in the other direction, dropping that knee over to the side, laying it on top of your prop if that felt good, and then extending your opposite arm out. So you find that twist and then settle in. Find your resolve, find your stillness. And then see if you can find that Ujjayi breath here. In through the nose and out through the nose, constricting the back of the throat so you make that ocean sound. We're a little over halfway through our hold on this side, so just check in. How is your breath doing? Are there any adjustments that you need to make to your physical body so that you're comfortable? Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, bring that knee back into your chest and then bring your other knee into meet. So both knees come into your chest. Give a nice little gentle rock side to side just to soothe out the low back. From here, we're going to come back up to a seated position. So you're going to come up in any way that you like. I like to rock and roll up, but you're going to maybe roll to one side or come up in any way that suits your body best. And then move your props just a little out of your way, or take that blanket back under your bum. We're going to come into a wide leg seat. So you're going to step your feet out to a nice wide position that feels manageable and then right into a forward fold. So if that blanket under the bum feels good, or if you just want to explore, it kind of does change the fold a little bit. I tried it earlier today. Long story, but just know that it does change things around a little bit. So if you like that blanket under your bum, go ahead and place it there. Come into your fold and then resolve right back into that stillness. Arms are soft, legs are soft, so you're not efforting into this position. So you're going to relax the toes and either they're going to fall forward or fall out, whichever way your legs tend to naturally rotate. And then maybe invite some softness into the back of your neck, softness into your shoulders. And just in that world of FYI, this pose in particular focuses on the liver meridian, which happens to come up the inner thighs. So it focuses there and it helps balance anger, irritation, and low back pain. So if you're ever feeling any of those things, maybe this is the pose to go to. Take one more breath here. And then we'll come up and out nice and slow. So start by slowly walking yourself upright and then catch hold of the backs of the thighs and help your knees come together. And then just give everything a little soft shake out. Wiggle out your hips, wiggle out your knees, wiggle out your toes and your ankles. And then from here, we're going to set ourselves up to come onto an all fours position. But I'm going to suggest that you take your folded up blanket and you're going to place it so that it's underneath your shins. First pose we're going to take is a puppy pose, but we're going to take it a little bit wider. So find your tabletop position first, and then instead of just walking the hands forward, we're going to walk them forward and out wide. So you're going to think about finding the outer edges of your mat and then letting your chest and your forehead melt down here. And then once you found your way there, You just come right back into that resolve. Find your stillness, softening the chest and the forehead down, but allow a softness in the elbows so you really let everything sink down towards the earth. So in our puppy pose, this focuses on our heart meridian, but also our lung meridian. So when our heart meridian is in balance, we feel love and joy and self-esteem and empathy. So if you're ever feeling a little out of whack there, you can always come to this pose, take a few minutes, find your breath. We've got about 30 seconds left here. So just take the time to notice your breath here. Breathing front to back and side to side, really letting the lungs and the ribs expand with the breath. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up nice and slow. We're going to stay in that tabletop position just for a moment. Make a little bit of movement in the shoulders, a little bit of movement in the ribs, maybe take a couple of cat and cows, anything that just kind of dulls that ache. And then we are going to take, if you like, you're going to take your block and you're going to place it behind you right up against where that blanket is. And you're going to sit your bum onto that blanket. That's the first level. So for to release it, that's going to be my big suggestion. Block on the tallest setting and you're sitting your butt back onto that. If you have lots of flexibility along the knees and the thighs, you always have the option to sit all the way down so that your heels kind of cup around your bum. I'm going to turn both ways so you can see my big toes come together, my heels come out to the side, and I'm sitting back into that little seat that my feet have created. That is not a comfortable position for everyone. So if you like, you can always take your block, you can take your pillow, anything that you like, and set it behind you so that your bum sits comfortably on it, and then you find a comfortable position there. So that's the pose is hero's pose. We're just going to sit in that seat, but then we're going to add on. So get your legs arranged, find a nice comfortable position, and then from here we're going to bring the hands behind the back into a prayer position. If a prayer position here is a no-go for you, you can always just catch your wrist or catch opposite wrist to opposite elbow. And then we're going to find this nice open heart position. You might feel a gentle tug along the tops of the thighs. You're only going to sit in the comfortable position for your body. And then once you found your way here, close your eyes down or just a soft gaze. So maybe you're looking forward and down at the ground. And then can you let your awareness come back to your breath? Finding that Ujjayi breath in through the nose and out through the nose and making that nice ocean sound. So this posture here focuses on the spleen meridian, which runs, I believe, from the big toe and then it comes up the thighs and to the spleen. So it's also our seat of confidence. And if you really think about how sitting up like this and sitting up nice and tall with this nice open heart does feel a little bit like a Superman posture. So if you like thinking about things that way, think of this as your seat of confidence. We have 1 minute left here, so just check in, make sure everything is still feeling okay. You're breathing comfortably in through the nose and out through the nose. Soften where you can, so maybe your jaw gets a little soft. Maybe your shoulders soften. Take one more breath and then come out nice and slow. So if you've got those prayer hands behind your back, go ahead and release them. Wriggle out your shoulders, wiggle out your fingers, and then lift yourself on up. Move that blanket out from underneath your shins. And we're going to take that blanket and we're going to maybe fold it up just a little bit thicker if you can. So it's a nice thick mound, or just reconfigure it in a way. But we're going to come down onto our belly. So we're going to position ourselves so that blanket comes under the lower portion of the belly. Think across the tops of the hips, across the low belly, but off of the ribs. So you want a little bit of compression in the belly. You're going to walk your feet out just a little bit so that they're in a comfortable position. And then you're going to crisscross your hands. Think crocodile pose. You're going to stack your palms and then just let your head rest on the backs of your hands. Take a second to find a good, comfortable position. You want to feel a gentle compression on the belly, but it should feel nice. There should be no pain. You should be able to soften the muscle tissue around your belly so that you can soften over your blanket. And then once you feel like you've settled in, check your toes, make sure they feel soft and comfortable. Check your fingers, make sure they feel soft and comfortable. See if you can slow your breath down here so you can really pay attention to that gentle compression on your belly. We're almost halfway through our hold here. So just check in with those belly muscles. We spend a good portion of our day trying to hold our belly in and tighten those muscles and firm them up. But we also need that balance of a softness in the belly tissue. It needs to be able to be soft and move with us. So, how soft and relaxed can you allow your belly muscles to be, still offering that bit of compression with the blanket under your tummy? And this posture here focuses on the stomach meridian, which runs actually from the side of the nose and all the way wiggles around the belly down to your third big toe. So if you like to focus a little energy, draw that line from the side of your nose down to your belly and then down to your third toes. Take one more breath. And then from here, we're going to push our way up just a little bit so we can come up and off of that blanket. Take a moment, assess, make sure everything's feeling good. And then we're going to either roll our blanket up into a bigger mound if we can, or keep it in the mounded position that it was in. And we're going to lay onto one side. So we're going to place that blanket underneath our ribs, and our legs are just going to be in a comfortable position, whatever that means to you. So they can be bent or straight. It'll be totally up to you, but you're going to place that blanket under the ribs, which is going to hopefully create a little bit of a side bend. So the top ribs are lifting upward towards the ceiling. And then once you found your way here, that top arm is going to reach up and overhead. And so hopefully you're finding a gentle side stretch down to the hip and all the way up through the ribs. Once you found your way here, resolve right back to that stillness. Soften into the breath. Take the time here to pay attention to the movement of the ribs as you breathe in and out. Take one more breath on this side. And then from here, you're either just going to lift yourself up and flip over or take your blanket over to the other side. So that's totally up to you. But we're just going to rearrange ourselves so that we can just find that sideline position on the other side. Position that blanket underneath your ribs. Get your legs situated in a nice position. And then that top arm is going to reach up and overhead. You're going to find that side stretch and come right back to your breath awareness. Nice deep breath in. Slow breath out, paying attention to the movement of the breath in the ribs. Take one more breath here. And then we'll start to come up nice and slow. So gently lift yourself up and off from here. Flip it around so you can come into that tabletop position. And then we're going to take it into our extended child's pose. So if you need a little cushion for your ankles, take your blanket, tuck it underneath your ankles. Otherwise, just move it a little bit out of the way. Big toes together, knees out nice and wide. Draw your bum back to your heels. Belly, chest, forehead melt down. And then everything softens here. Take a moment to settle in. And then once you've found your way down, you resolve right back into that stillness. Arms are soft and heavy. Forehead is soft and heavy. And then maybe you can find your Ujjayi breath here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Finding that constriction in the back of the throat. This posture here brings a little focus to the gallbladder and the stomach meridian. So it might be helpful with digestion. Take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, come back up into a tabletop position, walk your knees back in. From here, we're going to take it into a lunge. We're going to hold our lunge 2 minutes on each side. So it's not going to be too terribly long, but 2 minutes can be a lot. If you like, you're going to use your block as a little bit of a prop. You're going to step 1 foot forward and walk that other knee back into a comfortable position. Now you're going to find a lunge that you can sustain. If you like a lizard lunge, move that prop out of the way. You're going to let that front knee drop open and you're going to come down onto elbows and forearms. But you're only going to go to the depth that feels good to you, something that you can sustain for 2 minutes, which might be here and it also might be here. So you're going to find the position that you can hold and you can find some stillness in. And don't worry about what anybody else's pose looks like. We're all coming into this shape a little differently. So respect your body and know your mind. What can you hold? Right away, check in with your breath. Nice deep breath in, slow breath out. We've already been here for 1 minute, so how's everything feeling? Just check back in, arrange anything that doesn't feel right, and then come right back to your breath. Nice deep breath in and slow breath out. One more breath. Cool. Now from here, we're going to come up and out nice and slow. So start by shifting your weight back, release that foot. Now, can you take that leg that was forward and tuck it behind and across that back knee? So as if you're setting up for your shoelace pose or as if you're setting up for your cow face pose. So your knees are tucked. And if you can get that there, then we're going to lean over the hip. So we're going to just drop the hip side to side. So we're keeping the knees stacked and then just dropping that hip deep on one side and then shallow on the other. Take one more time each side. Nice. And then release. So we're going to unwind and then set yourself up so you can find your lunge to the other side. Step your other foot forward and then set yourself up in any way. So you've got your block available if that feels good. You can come way deep and find that lizard lunge down on elbows and forearms if that feels good. Any version that felt good, maybe matching what you did on the other side. Arrange your back knee so that it's comfortable. Find your posture and then settle right back into that stillness. Soften what you can. Notice your breath. Here's a great place to find that Ujjayi breath again. Inhale through the nose, constrict the back of the throat, and exhale slow through the nose. We've already been here for 1 minute, so just check in, make sure everything is still feeling good. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, draw the hips back. Start to step that foot back. If you can, take that foot and stack it behind your other knee so you get that little crisscross in the knees. And then take your hips and just drop them gently side to side. Beautiful. Take one more little drop side to side, and then we're going to unwind those legs, work out any last wiggles that you need to. But before we find our way down to our Shavasana, we're going to come back to a seated meditation position so that we can do a little bit of breath work. So tonight we're going to do Anuloma breath. So it's similar to an alternate nostril breath um, as we breathe out, but as we breathe in, we're going to breathe in through both nostrils. So find a comfortable seated position to start. Just make sure that your bum feels good, knees feel good, back feels good. You choose which hand you like to use. You're going to inhale through both nostrils. And then as you exhale, you're going to gently shut one nostril, let all that air go. Open up, inhale through both. And then you'll close the other nostril to exhale. So we're just alternating the nostrils on the exhale. So inhale both nostrils. Exhale, close one nostril. Inhale, open both. Exhale, close the other side. And you're just going to keep that going for a few moments. Find your breath's rhythm. It's a nice deep inhale through both nose nose holes, and then exhale through one side. Eyes can be open or closed, whichever helps you focus better. Inhaling, both sides are open. Exhale, we close one side. Inhale, both sides open. Exhale, we close the other side. Take one more time each side. And then once you've evened yourself out, just let your hand drop down for a moment, eyes closed. Take a nice deep breath in through both nostrils and a slow exhale through both nostrils. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to find our way down into our Savasana. So if you like, use your blanket as a little pillow, use your blanket as a blanket, use your blanket to tuck it under your knees to support the low back. Put it anywhere that you think would feel really nice to you. Find your way down to the ground and then give yourself a moment to settle in. Make sure that your clothes feel comfortable, hair feels like it's in a good position, body feels like it's positioned well. You can always take that traditional shape with legs long and arms out wide. You can take a constructive rest and let the knees collapse in towards each other, a little bit more support for the low back. Any posture that allows you to come into a stillness. And then once you've found your body in a nice, comfortable position, take the time here to settle back into your breath. Now start to allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Invite a soft heaviness into your hands and your feet. Invite a soft heaviness into your legs, softening your knees, relaxing the thighs, and then allowing a softness to come into the hips. So notice if you're clenching or holding any tension in your hips or your bum, can you soften there? Can you invite a sense of softness into your belly, a soft heaviness into your chest and your shoulders? Soften the back of your neck, soften your jaw, Soften your cheekbones, soften your eyes. Allow the softness from your eyes to move up the forehead, the crown of the head, and then all the way down the back side of your body. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Invite some gentle movement into the fingers and toes, and maybe gently deepen the breath. We're going to stay in this low lying position for a moment. So, if you like a little energy work, we're going to bring the palms of the hands together and start to rub the hands together, create a little bit of heat in the palms. And then, once you feel like your palms are nice and good and warm, we're going to just rest the hands gently on the hip bones. Close your eyes, take a nice deep breath. And then bring those hands back together. Fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once you feel like you've generated a bit of heat in those palms, we're going to place them on the low belly. So above the hip bones, but underneath the belly button. Take a nice deep breath. Bring those hands back together when you're ready. Fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once you feel like you've generated a bunch of heat in those palms, you're going to bring them to the solar plexus above the belly button, but below the ribs. Take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, hands come back together. Fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once you feel like you've created a nice bit of warmth in between those palms, we're going to place the palms right over the heart center. Take a nice deep breath. Bring those hands back together. Fire up those palms. Get a nice bit of heat going on there. Once you feel like those hands are good and warm, you're either going to hook your thumbs and gently wrap the hands around the throat, or just cup your hands around your throat in a way that feels comfortable to you. Take a nice deep breath. Great. And then once you feel good and ready, fire up those palms. 2 more times to go here. You're going to get them nice and good and hot. If you're wearing glasses like I am, it might feel good to take them off for a moment. Get those hands nice and good and hot. And then once they're good and hot, you're going to gently cup the hands over your eyes. Close your eyes down. Take a nice deep breath. Beautiful. And then bring those hands together one last time. Fire up those palms, get them as good and as hot as you can. From here, we're going to take it into our temple mudra or Charlie's Angel mudra. So we're going to wrap the fingers, pointers up, stretch the arms up and overhead, and then just like a nice big yawn, stretch from fingers to toes. Bring a little bit of length to your body. Take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, release. Release your arms, soften your legs, wiggle everything out, and then slowly and mindfully find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Come up in any way that feels good. Beautiful. And then once you've found your way up, just take a moment to settle into your seat. One hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Close your eyes down. Let your awareness come back to your breath. Nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And on an exhale, just let go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you through the rest of your night. Gently lift up through the top of your head. Gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday.